guys, it's Teenage Marvel Fan, back with another video, and Spider-Man is done in the MCU. Now, I know that I'm like a little late to this, and you've probably seen a bunch of other people posting about this first, but I was out doing stuff, and I didn't find out about this until, well, right about now, at the time of recording this, but yeah, at first, I saw this in the title of one YouTube video. I was like, oh, that's just a stupid joke. I'm not going to watch that video. Then I kept scrolling down through my subscriptions, and I saw that everybody was making videos about it, and I was like, oh, this is real. Why? Like, this is just so bad. Apparently, it's because Disney and Sony couldn't reach an agreement, because Disney wanted to make a new deal and have it be that the profit is split 50-50, and, that would make sense, because with these Spider-Man movies, both Homecoming and Far From Home, Disney and, Kevin Feige and people like that, they're doing all the heavy lifting. They're doing all the work that are making these movies great. Spider-Man Far From Home is Sony's biggest movie. And that's because of Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige and Disney. But now, Sony's just like, yeah, I think we can handle it now without you guys. But when they take the MCU away from Spider-Man, and they take Spider-Man away from the MCU, then they take the reason people love this version of Spider-Man so much along with them. So it's also reported that that they're still going to make a third and a fourth Spider-Man movie, starring Tom Holland and directed by John Watts, but it will not at all feature Kevin Feige producing it at all. So it's not going to take place in the MCU, but there's still going to be sequels. Now, I don't know how you can even do that, because the first two films, they're so deep in the history and the future of the MCU. It's literally mostly about Tony Stark and how Tony Stark was Peter's mentor. And now they're not rebooting it, at least not until the fourth movie is out. And so then it's in these Sony Spider-Man movies, they can't reference anything from the previous movies. So they can't mention Tony Stark at all. They can't even have MJ or Ned in it at all. And they can't have any of the villains from before. Scorpion was set up, Prowler was set up, Vulture was still there, and they were basically setting up the Sinister Six. And people have been wanting the Sinister Six for years, especially myself. And I've been super excited lately, thinking that we'd be getting the Sinister Six soon. And now we're not, because all that build-up for nothing. And now all that they can bring from Homecoming and Far From Home into the third and fourth movie that's made by Sony is Peter Parker. And then on the MCU side of things, Peter Parker and Spider-Man can't even be referenced at all. They can't even say his name. So I don't really know how they're even supposed to, explain his disappearance. Especially after that cliffhanger at the end of Far From Home. How are they supposed to explain things now? This is just crazy. And then Sony, even their stocks are dropping, drastically. And there's so much backlash from this. I don't think I haven't found one person on the internet that's happy about this. Nobody's happy about this. Even, people that that just watch these movies because they like them, and they're not like nerds and like super into it like I am, and like many of you probably are. Like they don't, even they're upset about this, and half the time they don't know what's going on. But now they do, and they don't like it. Now they're finally on our side. Now, at first, when I found out about this, I was worried about it. But as time went on, like as I've been watching multiple YouTube videos and thinking about it more, I realized that this might not even stay the way it is right now, because Disney and Sony are still trying to work on a deal. Like the deal, it's not completely done. It's, if they can't come up with a deal, then all this is going to happen. And they haven't made a deal yet, and they don't have much time, but it's still possible. And then even if it does happen, like I mentioned with all the backlash, Sony, like after they see all this backlash, if they were smart, then they would just be like, oh, never mind, we're not going to do this. And then they would just keep working with Marvel. And then everybody can be happy. Like, Sony, they can't do this on their own. And if this keeps going, like, if Sony makes Spider-Man 3 and 4 on their own, then we're gonna get, basically, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 with a different name and different cast and stuff. It's gonna be that bad, because basically any Spider-Man movie made by Sony, other than, like Into the Spider-Verse, isn't good. I mean, the original Raimi movies are good, but that was because, it was back in the day when there wasn't really much to compare it to. Nowadays, when you go back and look at those movies, like, you think they're cool and they're good movies, but that's mostly just, like, for nostalgia. Like they were some of the first good superhero movies. But now, like, compared to, like, Endgame and Infinity War, they suck. I'm not saying they actually suck, though, because I think they're pretty good movies, but compared to nowadays movies like Endgame and Infinity War. So, I don't know about this. I'm hoping that Disney and Sony resolve this problem and that they can work something out, but I'm just not sure that if it's going to happen or not. And just like Peter Parker said in Infinity War before he dusted, I don't feel so good. And I don't either. Because this is terrible. It's such a bad move on Sony's part. And even Disney's part, because they were demanding more money. Although they were doing most of the heavy lifting and they were working harder on this. But, I mean, like, they should just resolve this. Because then we can get Spider-Man 3 and 4 in the MCU. We can get Spider-Man in the Avengers movies. And I'm pretty sure everybody will be happy. Now, I don't want to go on and rant about this too much longer, so I'm just going to leave this here for now. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you think about all this? Do you think this is going to get resolved? Do you think it's not? I still really don't know what to think. Like, I still can't believe that this is happening. So, go ahead and start a conversation down in the comments below. And, I mean, if any of you actually leave comments, then I'll be sure to reply and continue the conversation. But thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you in my next video, so I can bestow all my Marvel knowledge upon you.